You see their name on your screen. Your heart lifts for a second. Then you realize it's just an old notification. No new message, no new call. Just silence wearing a familiar face. You stare anyway, as if looking long enough might make them appear, as if your attention alone could pull them back into your life. You lock your phone, unlock it again, open the chat, scroll up. Old jokes, old late night talks, old promises that sounded permanent at the time. You smile at one message, then your chest tightens at the next, because now it reads like a different language, like two people who don't exist anymore. You close the app. Tell yourself you're done thinking about it. Then 5 minutes later, you're back again, just checking, just in case. Just because maybe this time they replied. This becomes your day. You wake up, you check your phone. Nothing. You go through your routine, work tasks, conversations that require half your attention, but your mind stays somewhere else. Waiting, hoping, replaying. You tell yourself you're just being caring, just being loyal. Just being someone who doesn't give up on people easily. And at first, that story feels noble. It feels like strength. It feels like heart. Until the pattern starts repeating again and again and again. You always text first. You always ask how they are. You always keep the conversation alive. You send long messages. They reply with one word. You send memes. They react with an emoji. You ask to meet. They say, soon. Soon becomes next week. Next week becomes never mentioned again. At first you're confused. Maybe they're busy. Maybe life is just chaotic right now. Maybe you're overthinking. So you give more understanding, more patience, more effort. But confusion slowly turns into frustration. You start noticing the small things. They're active online, laughing in other chats, posting stories, living a life that somehow has space for everything except you. You feel silly for checking. Then you check again anyway. You tell yourself not to care, but your mood still shifts based on whether they reply or not. Your energy still rises and falls with their attention. And one night, when the room is quiet and the screen finally goes dark, you feel it. That quiet regret. Not loud enough to cry about. Not dramatic enough to talk about. Just a soft, heavy realization sitting in your chest. You're always there for them, but they're rarely there for you. You start questioning yourself. Maybe you're too dense, maybe you're just too much. So you adjust. You type shorter messages. Wait longer before replying. Pretend you're busier than you actually are. But even that is still chasing, just disguised as control. You're still orbiting around people who aren't really orbiting around you. And the worst part, you don't even notice when it became normal, because the real enemy was never them. It was comfort. The comfort of familiar names. Even when the connection faded, it was distraction. Checking your phone so you didn't have to face the silence of your own life. It was routine. Reaching out first because that's just what you always do. It was delay. Telling yourself you'll focus on yourself. Tomorrow became next week. Next week became another month of the same pattern. You kept telling yourself you're just being kind. But deep down, it started to feel like you were negotiating for attention. Like you were trying to earn a place in lives that never fully made space for you. But here's the truth. You weren't chasing people. You were chasing the feeling of being wanted. The reassurance. The proof that you still mattered in their world. And this is where everything changes. It doesn't happen loudly. There's no big speech. No dramatic goodbye. It happens on an ordinary day. You open your phone. See their name. Feel the usual urge to text first. And then you don't. You sit with the discomfort. The silence feels heavier than usual. Almost wrong. Almost like you're breaking an unspoken rule. Minutes pass, then hours, then a full day. Nothing happens. The world doesn't collapse. You're still breathing, still existing, still here. And something strange begins to shift. You realize how much of your energy was being spent chasing responses, chasing reassurance, chasing small crumbs of attention that kept you emotionally full just enough to stay. That's when discipline starts to look different. Not as punishment, but as self-respect. It's control. The ability to not react to every silence. It's power. Choosing where your attention goes instead of giving it automatically. It's freedom. Not feeling owned by the need to be remembered. You stop reaching out just to feel relevant. You stop explaining yourself just to stay included. You stop shrinking your standards just to avoid being alone. And slowly, painfully, clearly, you see who actually comes looking for you. Some never text first. Some never notice the distance. That hurts more than you expected, because now the illusion is gone and reality stands there, quiet and undeniable. But something else stands with it. A version of you that isn't begging to be chosen anymore. You begin to spend that reclaimed energy on yourself. Not in loud, dramatic ways, but in small, quiet decisions. You read without checking your phone. You work without waiting for notifications. You sit in silence without feeling abandoned by it. The emptiness you feared starts turning into space. Space to think. Space to grow. Space to finally meet yourself without distractions. And you notice something uncomfortable. You were never actually afraid of losing them. You were afraid of facing your own life without constant emotional noise, because chasing people filled the gaps. It gave you something to focus on, something to fix, something to hope for. Without that chase, you're left with a mirror, and in that mirror is your time, your goals, your potential, waiting for attention you kept giving away. Discipline now feels like protection of your peace, your time, your emotional energy. It's the quiet decision to stop running after people and start standing firmly in your own life. You don't become cold. You don't stop caring. You just stop performing for attention. That should be natural. And the story doesn't end there, because the silence still tests you. The urge still returns some nights. The habit still whispers, just send the text, just check again. So now you're standing at a quiet crossroads. One path feels familiar. Reach out first. Wait again. Repeat the same story. The other path feels uncomfortable. Stay still. Let people come or go on their own. Face the empty space and build a life inside it. The day you stop chasing people, everything changes. But the real question is, when that moment comes tonight, when your hand hovers over their name, when the silence feels louder than usual, will you chase again, or will you finally see what your life looks like when you don't?